Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are not in World of Warships Legends, but we are talking about World of Warships Legends. And on that note, let's go over the latest patch notes. Now, first of all, server maintenance will take place on March 9th. That's right, March 9th. Not too far away, guys. And we are going to get a huge update. How huge? 2 gigabytes. And on PlayStation 4, 2 gigabytes plus another 200 megabytes, because PlayStation always gets something extra. Not sure why. Anyway, what are some of the talking points? I'm going to try to make this as brief as I can. An introduction to the Red Fleet. Holy crap. The Veno, I'm going to assume the O is silent there. Veno Morskoy Flot. Navy in Russian. The Russian Navy is on its way. Ships rely on their near-flat ballistics, so in other words, very short flight times, and various other features to provide their versatility. For cruisers, we're looking at good distance control thanks to their 6-inch guns, as well as radar at higher tiers to keep the destroyers at bay. Torpedoes also come equipped as starting with the tier, I'm assuming as stock. So from the get-go, when you get these from Tier 3 on, the Svetlana, they definitely make for great defensive kit, but be sure to combine them with your main battery. The newcomers by order are the Novik, the Bogatyr, the Svetlana, the Kirov, the Bajani, the Shores, and the Chapiev. Chapiev? I apologize. I don't know. Don't sue me. I apologize. But yeah, the Russian cruisers are DPM-based cruisers. They have 152 millimeter, I think, 150 to 152 millimeter guns, pretty much the entire time. Sound familiar? Yeah, pretty much. Except these are, I don't know. I'll have to get into it. I've heard a lot about them. I've never actually played against them. When I played World of Warships on PC, the Russians weren't there yet. So that tells you how long ago that's been. Now, all the cruisers will become available for you to research and purchase once the update goes live. So these cruisers will be available on the 9th. So try them out, find a skill and mod combos that work best for you. We'll go over the Russian commanders once they come out too. So look forward to that video. Destroyers are entering our waters via early access. So we're getting back into some early access, guys. And basically the early access, for anybody who's new to early access, it means that they're going to release the line. You're going to be able to get them out of crates. And those crates, and you don't always get them, by the way. It's just some crates give you ships. So you can get any of the ships in the line except for the Tier 7. They usually release that solely once the line is out there. Now, I don't know exactly how long. It doesn't really say as far as how much you got as far as when it's usually like a month, I believe. It's 2 to 4 weeks, we'll just say that, between the time that these go live as a early access and the time that they actually get released. And you can grind them as normal when they get released. But if you want to try them right away, there are going to be crates that will be available through missions and stuff, and you have a chance to win them that way. And again, those crates, you can get any of these. The Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, or Tier 6. It doesn't have to go in order. So you never know what you're going to get. And as far as the destroyers, it says that, let's see, the Deadly Bunch rely heavily on their guns. And while their torpedoes may not have the best ranges, they are pretty fast. So in other words, we're going to have some fast torpedo, but not long range, but good gunboats. So this is going to kind of be an interesting destroyer line for most destroyer players to play. Now, the ships, of course, require commanders to lead them into battle, so Anton Gurin is set to be joined by, he's the one that's already in there for the Ohotnik. He's going to be joined by Nikolai von Essen? I'll go with Essen. Vladimir Trubetskoy, Lev Galler, Mikhail Kadyrov, Nikolai Kuznetsov, and Stepan Makarov. Okay, I apologize to all of our Russian viewers out there because I know I probably butchered these, especially Mikhail and Kuznetsov, which is pretty funny because that's going to be coming up pretty soon. So here's their base traits. We've got Confrontation, which increases the minimum ricochet angle of your ship's armor-piercing shells. That's pretty interesting. Then we've got, and it doesn't say cruiser, destroyer, or battleship, so that is across the board. So that's an interesting one. Captains of certain battleships might be looking to pick that one up. Increase, now we have on Stepan, we have survivability, which is increase the duration of the damage control party consumable. Kadyrov, we have Vicious Circle. Oh, okay, so this was night shorter than days, sorry. And then this one's Vicious Circles, which increases the main battery traverse speed of your battleship. So that's interesting. Wonder what that would be like on battleships if you combine this with Madden as an inspiration. Could be interesting. See how fast the turrets can turn. Then we've got, for Trubetskoy, we have the Battle Rages On, which reduces incoming damage to your destroyer. Then we have for Kuznetsov, Follow the Sun, increase main battery range of your cruiser. That's an interesting one, especially for those of us who have nice cruiser ranges already, like the Baltimore and the Hipper. Then Flaming Arrow by Galler, increase your battleship's HE shell damage. Oh my god. The Jean Barts, Richelieus, King Georges, and the Vanguards just got a major buff. I don't know how much. Oh, well, stock level, 0.25%, which isn't a lot. But you go up by 0.25 per rank, so wait a second. Okay, so they're calling this rank 12 or rank 20, which would be 16 levels and then the 4 legendaries. So you would end up with a 5% increase in the HE shell damage. So I appreciate this. I like this new thing. By the way, they have a website now. I mean, they've had a website the whole time, but they're actually putting their updates on there instead of Facebook, which I do like. And as always, I will leave a link to this in the description below. Now, new commander skills. You've got Collective Labor, which gives you damage control party duration and extra damage controls. So that's interesting. Then you've got Equilibrium of Power, which gives you armor penetration of HE shells of your cruiser's main gun HE shells damage. So you reduce your damage, but you increase the penetration. It's interesting. Volunteer gives you decrease the reload time and damage control party and receive extra consumable charges at the cost of a lower duration. And now we've got Playing with Fire, which increases the artillery distance and the chance to set an enemy on fire with your destroyer's HE shells at the cost of reduced damage of HE shells. Oh, crap. Didn't mean to do that. But that's kind of like this is the destroyer version of this one. So, yeah, I kind of like that. Again, you lose 30% here. And then once you get, oh, okay, so these are legendary perks, it looks like. That's interesting. And War and Peace campaign will be for the, oh, here we go. Where is it? Oh, here. That's right. It's the very first word, Spartan. I apologize, guys. The Mikhail Kuznetsov. I apologize. I don't know if that's supposed to be Mikhail, like it would be pronounced by me, or if it is Mikhail Kuznetsov. That's the best I got, guys. But you can see what you're going to be able to get here. I don't know exactly. It's 5 weeks of missions, 95 levels of progression, guys. But you're going to be able to pick out a lot. And they give you the breakdown without Admiralty backing, which is only 2,500 usually. 2,500 for of doubloons for Admiralty backing. You get 1 insignia, or with, you get 3. So you get 3 times as many insignias. Without, you get 9 promotion orders. With you get 23, guys. So you can see why I always say the best bang for your buck as far as spending any doubloons that you might earn through rewards or anything like that, or if you go out and buy some, is the Admiralty backing and then just complete all of the missions. Because if you want to complete all the missions, you get that Admiralty backing, you get everything for the 2,500. If you have the time to grind out all of the missions. Otherwise, each tier that you knock down, there's 95 levels, each level that you knock down reduces the overall price that you end up paying for this cruiser at the end. So, it is hugely awesome, personally. I think that is an amazing setup for missions and stuff. For those of us who don't want to spend a whole lot of money on the game, even though, let's be real, I spend way too much money on the game. But it also pays me to play it. So, not the game itself pays me, but me doing videos on YouTube and you guys watching them, it helps. I appreciate you guys. But here it breaks down everything. We're not going to go over everything, obviously, because that would take a minute. Updated combat missions. So combat missions can now have requirements to be filled in a division. Not a big fan of this. There's a lot of us solo players, so let's hope that the missions don't require you. But it does say that they can have requirements to be fulfilled in a division. Not a big fan of that. You can complete a mission card either by dealing 2 million damage while playing solo or 3... Okay. Woo! I was about to get all up in arms, Wargaming. I'm glad you threw that last line in there. If I'd have read forward, we'd have been fine. So, for example, if you want to do it solo, you can with 2 million damage playing solo. Or, if you're in a division, you get 3 million damage in a division, and you can knock it out. So, that is nice. I'm glad that they give you the option of playing solo, because I was about to get angry. And you don't want to see me when I'm angry. Anyway, combat missions can now be personal. This means that you can receive a mission if you qualified. For example, such missions may appear for newer players, or there might be missions that require particular ships, but are only visible to the players that have those ships. I like those ideas. Giving a little bit of changes, reasons to go to other lines and stuff like that. I do like that as an option. Balance changes. This update brings only one, albeit significant, balance change. The Matchmaker will now mirror the number of destroyers in teams. However, it will also allow for different numbers of battleships and cruisers per team. This change has been made on the basis of your feedback on destroyer balance, making or breaking the games for you. Seeing how capping a lot of times can win or lose battles, the main strengths of battleships should allow for a more close game, even if there is a different number of them on each team. This measure is, of course, somewhat experimental, but it is not one that would be difficult to roll it back. So please don't get all pissed off already, guys. I know I was about to get angry a minute ago, but hold your anger. Let's try this new Matchmaker out. And they already say in here that if it causes more issues than what they expect it to, then they can roll it back quickly. So it's not something that we're going to have to live with forever. But they're going to test it for at least a couple weeks. And it says a few weeks on here, so let's assume a month. Again, 2 to 4 weeks. We'll just assume that. And if... And they also add on here that we still believe that completely mirroring teams in standard battles is somewhat boring. And I agree with that. I like having a little bit of a change between teams as far as the makeup and all of that. We don't want Iowa for Iowa, Richelieu for Richelieu, that sort of thing. We don't want that. Or just battleship for battleship, cruiser for cruiser, destroyer for destroyer, because the games would get stale after a while. Just feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and nobody wants that. So having the ability to change but nobody wants 4 destroyers on every team. Nobody. Even destroyer players, I consider myself to have at least partaken in destroyers, so I can at least speak up a little bit. You don't want 4 destroyers on each team, because it gets in your way. You've got more people that you've got to watch that could be unpredictable where they could be on the map. So as a destroyer player, it hurts when there's 4 people against you that could also sneak up and hit you just as hard as you want to hit everybody else. So I expect this to be interesting. It didn't say how many it's going to limit, but it just says that the number of destroyers in teams are going to be mirrored. So if one team has 4 destroyers, the other team is going to have 4 destroyers. There's not going to be one team gets 1 destroyer and 3 cruisers, and the other team gets 4 destroyers. You know what I'm saying? that's what they're getting at here. It doesn't say that there's going to be a cap on it, though I got to believe that if they're mirroring teams, that there's going to be a little bit of a less destroyer play, especially if we get more cruisers like we did last night during the streams. Destroyers are going to start having a rough time because cruisers are a destroyer's bane. You do not want to run into a lot of cruisers when you're playing your destroyer. It limits you so much. You can't get as close as you'd like to launch those surprise attacks. It's so... You just have to play better. When there aren't cruisers to counter destroyers, and all you have to worry about is a chance encounter with another destroyer, playing a destroyer is easy, and everybody knows it. I'm no, amazing destroyer player, but I prefer playing destroyer when I'm the only destroyer on the team and there's only one, there's no cruisers against me. That's amazing. Get to sit back and get within 6 kilometers of battleships and launch torpedoes at them all day and they can't even see you. That's fun. But now that we're getting a lot more cruisers into the game that are more fun and more consistent, I hope that we see more cruisers out there, even though it does mean for some of us that we're going to be having to deal with HE spam, which may have to change the way we play our battleships, guys. Ain't that fun? We've been able to get away with our dispersion builds for so long. Why? Because there hasn't been anything out there trying to burn us down. Now we're getting all these cruisers in here that have the potential to actually burn you to the ground with enough firepower to do so. You might have to start thinking about tank builds rather than dispersion builds. Sure, it limits your amazing, devastating strike, but you be able to survive longer, you catch on fire less, and you get extra heals. So tank builds may become a thing, guys. I'm looking forward to the change in the meta. Let's be honest. Let's keep it fresh. I like the fact that the developers of this game have been able to keep this game fresh for the last year already, and they're continuously updating it. Every month we get a major update, it seems like. So every month I get to do one of these videos for you guys. Now, there are also some new premium ships. The Tier 7 British battleship, the Monarch. I can think of at least one person that is excited already at that. So Tier 7 British battleship, the Monarch. I'll have to look into that. It looks like it's got bigger guns, so I'm all for that. That'll be interesting. Kind of looks like a Nelson configuration. I can't really tell if that's a turret in the back. It doesn't really look like a turret, so maybe it's just got 2 triple turrets in the front, which, honestly, I don't know if we need another battleship that's all weapons in the front, because, yeah, never mind. We'll leave it alone. The British battleship needs a heavy hitter at top tier, so hopefully this is the thing. We'll see. Tier 4 Russian battleships, the Imperator Nikolai, will be available as part of a platform store only bundle. So depending on March 23rd. So what was the date on this one? Okay, so on updates released, and this will be the Tirpitz or the Alabama version for the British. So this is your 750,000 global XP. Sorry for those of you who just got the Alabama. But yeah, this will be a thing. Looks like I'm gonna have to be making sure I save my global XP for a few days here. Actually, this comes out on the 9th. I'm screwed. I might have to spend a lot of money in the near future. You know me, I like to get the first video out on these things. Tier 4 Russian battleship. We've got March 23rd is when this will drop. So look forward to that. Looks like a absolutely Russian thing. It's got casemate guns on the side. It's got 4 triple turrets. And this thing is a Tier 4. Tier 4 battleship with 4 turrets that are triples. Oh my god. And I've heard good things about the Russian battleships as well. So I hear, are brawlers. And that'll be interesting to find out. Tier 5 British destroyer, the Gallant, will appear in the store on March 30th, starting at 10,000 doubloons. How much did we say this was going to be? Oh, this one will change price depending on the region and so on, because it's on the actual platform or the store for the console. So if you're on PlayStation, it'll be, a different price probably than on Xbox. Hopefully they compete with one another and try to lower the price and we all win. But yeah, so the British destroyer, the Gallant, will appear. It's Tier 5. So we're getting a premium British destroyer. That's interesting. 10,000 doubloons. So, that's what, 40 bucks, I think, $39, if I remember correctly. So, bit expensive, but it's a British destroyer, so I'm sure it's pretty good. It'll have the tube by tube most likely, and it'll be a pretty good all arounder. I like the British destroyers. You might be maybe remember that. Tier 5 Soviet cruiser the Molotov will just the name alone makes me assume that this is going to be a fire spamming motherfucker. April 6th, starting at 10,000 doubloons for a tier 5 cruiser. So that'll be interesting. And it is a ship-only package, by the way. 10,000 for the ship only, 10,000 for the ship only. So they'll also come out in the normal like bundles and stuff. That'll be more expensive initially. But usually the ship-only packages show up a week later or something like that. So keep that in mind. Or they might come out just right off the bat. Now, Miscellaneous. Your leftover Secura coins will be compensated at the rate of 1 for 7,500 credits. That's pretty standard. If you have any Super Santa containers left and open them in the March update, you'll receive 375,000 credits as compensation instead of 50 Secura coins. Okay. First win bonus for tier 6 and 7 that rewarded players with promotion orders and containers has been removed for the duration of this update. Ouch. I preferred the promotion orders, guys. That hurts. Most likely with a new set of rewards, though. So the daily win bonus remains in place. Mutsu, DeGrasse, Dunkirk, Warspite, T-61 can now be accessed and purchased from the ships menu. So all of these ships, if you've been wanting to pick one up, can be picked up from the ships menu under their corresponding nation tabs, rather than being in the store. So you just go into the tech tree, essentially, and pick them up through there. It's just housekeeping, guys. They get too many ships in the store, and it takes forever for people to find the one they want, and they're less likely to buy them. So you put them in the ships tab, or put them in the tech tree tab, and those that want them can find them easier because you go to the nation that you want, and it's just a win for everybody. Ship models in the port load a bit quicker, so a little bit of optimization, various particle system optimizations, and to honor the old wargaming tradition, we will have something special quacking for you. Quacking? Oh, God. Somebody's going to have to start speculating. I wonder if it's going to be the... World of Tanks does this thing every year where they have the tugboat, the SS tugboat. I wonder if that's going to, like, flip and we're going to have, like, a... I don't know. I'll be wrong. I could be wrong. But it's... I hope it'd be fun, you know, have World of Warships. Maybe this has already been done on the actual PC version. You guys will have to let me know. You guys are smarter than I am. Just let me know. I'm lazy. Fixed bug fixes. Fixed a rare bug where shells showed no tracers and torpedoes were invisible. Fixed a rare bug that caused the Vanguard not to display weight. Bull crap. I mean, not that they're fixing it. Like, I'm glad that they are. It's done this since the beginning of time. But it is not a rare bug. It happened all the time. It got real old, but I got used to it. I just assumed that they were at full throttle more often than not. But yeah, if you don't know what they're talking about, you know how the wake of your ship, the water will come up the front. The faster you go, it'll go higher up onto the ship. That's what didn't happen for the Vanguard. The Vanguard, it'd be sailing full throttle, and it looks like it isn't moving. I mean, you could see that it's moving, but it was hard to tell how fast it was going because most of us, when we're aiming our shots, are looking at the wake to see how fast the person is moving because depending on how fast you're going, the wake is higher up, so you aim your shot, accordingly. So yeah, that's fun. Fix the wake foam that sometimes visibly jittered. That's a thing, I guess. Fix the "our team depends on you" voiceover, which sometimes wasn't triggered. That's nice, but I'm too used to hearing it. Fixed incorrect camera movement when switching back to between the transport and the warship. So that's interesting. Wonder what that was causing. And then fixed a bug when the back-end stock skill didn't correctly display the reduced torpedo reload time in the ship loadout window. So some quality of life changes as well. But that was everything. I apologize for it being such a long video. I appreciate everybody stopping by. As always, there are going to be links to this in the description. And when you get here, you can choose whatever language you prefer. French, German, Japanese, and, oh God, I apologize. Is this a Russian? No. Is that the Russian flag? I'm going to go with Russian. I did not realize that was a Russian flag. Huh. I guess I'm stuck in the Cold War era. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.